I was there for Charles Oliveira and Mike Chandler.
Yeah.
And I got to watch him. I got the pleasure of watching them both up close.
Yeah.
And you know yourself, watching it on the TV and watching it when you're 10 feet away is two completely different things.
Even before the fighters walk through the tunnel and the same breaking headline glows on every fan's screen, the arena is already a furnace. Dan Hooker is furious, shouting about tickets that mysteriously vanished, and Michael Chandler is firing back at Tom Aspinall in full blast on social media. It's one of those chaotic fight weeks where you can hear tension crackling like electricity. Before a thunderstorm, every notification feels like a matchstick scraping the wall. Fans are locked and eyes darting. Between tweets and live streams, Chandler calls Aspinall a big goober. In a fit of rage, Aspinall claps back, claiming Chandler blows his engine in round one and wastes his best shots early. Meanwhile, somewhere across the world, Dan Hooker shakes his head in disbelief because his name got deleted from a guest list by some intern with no idea what this fight game truly costs. But it's more than just jabs and jokes, it's bigger than bad blood. There are private battles underneath the surface. Fighters mourning family losses, struggling with faulty gloves, making high-stakes side bets that would bankrupt most people, and encountering face-offs with rivals in hallways where no cameras roll. These stories simmer until they explode on fight night, where pride, policy, and pain all spill into the cage at once.
I can see Hooker just sitting there being like, hearing it going, pop, pop, pop.
No, it was. He turned around and looked at him. He's shaking it. Kid is his toughness is off the chart.
You will understand why every punchline has consequences and why certain bruises never fade inside or outside the octagon by the time this roller coaster ends. It begins quietly on a highway in Kazakhstan, where Shavkat Rakhmanov's wife and 3-year-old son are passengers in a car that flips without warning. Lives are changed. Metal bends, sirens scream, 2 lives are lost, and emergency responders arrive to pull his family from the wreckage. The mother and child are rushed to the hospital as cold. Morning air cuts through flashing red lights while doctors work through the night, stitching wounds and setting bones. Reporters swarm the entrance, but the nurses hold the line, refusing to let them in for once. Headlines stay outside the story, and friends pace the hallway hoping for a miracle as every second stretches longer than a 5-round fight.
Sanko being very impressed by you. I'm just wondering, what do you think of having her support?
Да, видел, в принципе. Чем могу, ничего не могу сказать. Конечно, как мужчина тебе приятно, как женщина, когда...
The world turns sideways when Shavkat, miles away mid-camp, checks his phone and sees the nightmare. You can duck a punch, but how do you block a message like that? He grabs the first flight home, every hour in the air, dragging like a round with no bell. When fans find out that the undefeated wrecking machine is also a father and a husband, the outpouring is instant. Comment sections flood with prayers and digital hugs, but every hospital update comes laced with grief because funerals are being planned. In the same city where survival is being stitched into bedsheets, Shavkat's next opponent vanishes from the conversation, replaced by quiet support as the fight community rallies behind him. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Khalil Roundtree walks into a podcast studio with a black UFC glove and a memory that won't go away. At first glance, the leather looks clean, but when he pinches it, the UFC logo flakes like dead paint, and suddenly the topic changes.
I just wanted to give one until Monday's message, and that was, I'm going to plead guilty. I felt guilty for myself one time, right? And that doesn't do anyone any good. And I thought, man, I never smoked one cigarette, never smoked any weed, never did anything. Why did my lungs get stolen from me?
He explains that no matter how many printing techniques they tried, from fancy ink to extreme heat tests, every glove kept peeling under pressure. Championship photos looked fake. Bits of vinyl floated into ice buckets. Some fans thought the new glove design was engineered to create more knockouts by forcing straighter fingers, but Khalil just laughs. It was never about knockouts, it was about presentation and safety. No promoter wants to print a pay-per-view poster where the champ's glove looks like it came from a flea market. He talks like a scientist and a storyteller, describing how ancient leather was dyed with real bark while modern gloves are soaked in chemicals. Rogan nods, picturing tiny white flakes raining down like snow mid-fight. Eventually, the project was shelved. Executives tossed the new glove into the graveyard of unfinished ideas, and the old design stayed. Fighters just taped up and moved on.
I'm Aspinall. I didn't read it. I told you guys already. We'll get Aspinall versus Jones done. John Jones versus The heavyweight fight will happen. Relax. I'll announce that soon.
Sometimes progress gets stuck because a sticker won't stick. Ben Askren knows that better than most. He fought through injuries fans never saw. But even he wasn't ready for his lungs to give out. He now lives with a mountain of pills and a scar shaped like a skyline across his chest where surgeons replaced both organs with donor tissue. Weeks later, he walks into a quiet gym, camera leaning against a wall, breath short, but eyes locked, and he moves slowly like he's walking against the tide, but every step shouts louder than trash talk. He grips a resistance band, pulls once, pulls twice, and mutters, "Don't talk about it, be about it." The phrase hits heavier than his old suplexes. Social media erupts with love, remembering his undefeated runs and his viral knockout loss. But Ben stays silent, focused on healing, not headlines.
As far as my future in the octagon, I decided that maybe I will not retire.
He pauses when his heart monitor beeps and therapists hover like cornermen ready to stop the round. The clip lasts only 30 seconds, but says more than any press conference. This new title fight is about recovery, not revenge. Real fans know that victory sometimes hides in the space between two calm breaths. Ben counts each shaky push as a path back to normal, while across the country, John Jones walks into a hotel lobby and spots a smile he never forgot. Adlan Amagov, the elusive training partner who once cracked John with a spinning back kick that stole his breath. They hug it out, part brotherhood, part respect. Cameras roll nearby, guests freeze as if they've just seen a ghost. John laughs, describing how the gym lights blurred when he hit the mat. It happens, he says. Adlan just smiles.
You out, he called Gaethje out. Patty was the one, though, that walked into the octagon. How did he become the one that got into the octagon, and it wasn't you, the number one contender?
It was the Joe Rogan mistake, and he shouldn't call his even name, bring him to the octagon. I said, this is not sport, this is WWE.
They remember that right after that infamous kick, Carlos Condit came flying in next like something from a video game. Bodies in the air, chaos on the mats. Fans debated the story's truth for years, but now the selfie confirms it. The champ once fell, and the king once got cooked. Young fighters see this and realize that losing in training is not the end, it's a blueprint. Legends get humbled long before they get crowned. John exits the lobby a little lighter. Amagov fades back into semi-retirement. The story spreads like wildfire, tweeted, shared, clip retold. Now it's part of MMA folklore. 20. Inside a gym in Denver, Corey Sandhagen paces like a grandmaster preparing a chessboard filled with bloody pawns and breathing queens. He's facing Merab Dvalishvili, soon a cardio machine who wears opponents down to the bone. But Corey doesn't buy into the expected script. He wants to lead the dance, make Merab move to strange rhythms while he shadow boxes. His coaches yell combos, and his feet carve invisible patterns into the mat. He explains how tired bodies make sloppy choices and poor defense, but he isn't running this time like he did against Umar. He's countering everything, making Merab answer hard questions under fire. Training partners rotate in and out, shooting takedowns every minute, keeping the pressure boiling. He scribbles notes between rounds, breath and eyes up, stay sharp, no blinking. Analysts doubt him, but Corey shrugs. The fight is 25 minutes long, and he plans to direct the final scene. As Corey prepares to create chaos, Rainier de Ritter exits a war with Robert Whittaker, blood on his brow, and the scorecards showing a split decision. 3 near finishes in 4 fights. He was just a name on a list at the start of the year. Now he's spoken in the same breath as elite contenders. Microphones surround him. He admits Rob looked amazing, hard, fast, dangerous. He remembers getting rocked by a head kick, then going for a takedown that flipped momentum. Fans rewatch it like a moment in time. He credits his rise to endless drilling, brutal camps, and a nutritionist who made broccoli taste like steak. Some say he's moving too fast, but Rainier believes MMA shuts doors quick. Either you chase gold now or watch someone else raise it. He wants one more fight before the year ends. His bruises can't mute his hunger. In fact, they amplify it. He steps into the locker room, not broken, just boiling with purpose. The belt feels close enough to taste.